All right, so it looks like Kevin Lee is probably going to finally get a fight. Kevin Lee has been trying to fight everybody basically on the roster, but it seems like all of those fighters that are ahead of him, it just sounds like they're just out of his pay grade at the moment. And some things need to suss themselves out before Kevin can get a chance at the top of that heap. The Tony Ferguson, again, he already lost to Tony Ferguson, so that fight was never going to happen so soon. But Khabib, he had been calling out Khabib since ages ago. Conor McGregor, I don't think he'll probably ever fight Conor unless Conor has the belt. Who else has he been calling out? Iaquinta had kind of been calling, just really dissing the guy. He was like, look, we can fight again, but it seems like he says Iaquinta's being so finicky, the guy doesn't want to fight. He called out Anthony Pettis in this last bout. He was trying to see if he could get on the 229 card and fight Anthony Pettis. And that was really just when you realize that this guy seems to have no clout with the matchmakers, because they were like, oh yeah, we should put Anthony Pettis on the card. And they put Anthony Pettis on the card with Tony Ferguson. So it's getting ridiculous. He even called out, or both of the guys, I think both guys want to fight each other, Dylan Dennis. He called out Dylan Dennis and said, hey, let's roll. Let's get a rolling match in. It seems like the guys just need, he does need to stay relevant, but he definitely wants to stay relevant. And he doesn't want this limelight to get past him, because, fame can turn into 15 minutes of fame just like that. By the snap of a finger. Fame. Your 15 minutes of fame can be up. Boom. Just like that. And so Kevin Lee is really trying to hold on to it until he can dig his feet into it. Because right now he's just near the limelight, but he wants to sink his teeth into it. And I kind of understand the guy. Kevin Lee is a hell of a fighter. Kevin Lee is a hell of a fighter. Somebody did put in the comment section, oh, my rant about Kevin Lee on I believe it was the Darren Till video was basically unwarranted. I don't care about any of that. I like Kevin Lee as a fighter. I like him as a person, but Kevin Lee has changed. He acts neutered right now. He acts like a neutered whatever. I don't want to call him a dog or anything, but like he just acts like he's been neutered. He really does. And I can see through all of this. I can really see through it. Kevin Lee, I do think that he's a nice guy. And I respect Kevin Lee a lot. He's a young African-American fighter, black fighter who is not afraid to talk about the people, not afraid to, put out, hashtag 25 to life, just to kind of inspire some of the young kids, some of the young African-American youth out there, especially the men, young men out there who are wondering, what are the options? What are the options? And I like that Kevin Lee gets out there and says what the options are. It's not just this, it's not just crime, drugs, whatever. It's not all negativity. It does shine that light. When somebody asks him about African-American issues, he speaks up. He's not like other people who will say, I don't have nothing to say about that. That was Demetrius Johnson. They asked him about something, I can't remember, but he was just like one of I think it might have been the black shootings or something like that, the police shooting black, and then Demetrius Johnson said, I have nothing to say about that. Like, I was just like, why not? We're not going to dwell on it. It's just, I'm sure you have something to say about it. Your children are black. They're half black, half white, but still, it's like, you don't have nothing to say about that, but whatever. Like I said, I do respect Kevin Lee for all of that, and then when it comes to channel MMA, when it comes to channeling MMA, Kevin Lee goes for it. Kevin Lee goes for it. He will throw hands. He's not afraid to throw hands with you. And then wrestling, he will wrestle you into the damn grave. He will wrestle you into the dirt, 6 feet, man. Kevin Lee is an intense fighter. That's all I can say about him. Very intense fighter. He knows that that's where he makes his bread and butter. That's where the bread and butter comes from. That's how the sausage is made in the octagon. His performance in the octagon is more spectacular than anything that he can do outside of the octagon. Because this is what's going to bring the eyeballs. So I am very excited that Kevin Lee might get this fight with Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje already said that he's down for this fight, and of course he would be because, Kevin Lee is number 5 in the division. And this lightweight division, the rankings actually do make sense, in my opinion. Like when I look at the rankings, I say, okay, this is reasonable. So Kevin Lee is number 5 in the division. Justin Gaethje, I'm not sure where he's going to be or where he's at. I believe he's going to be number 6 or something like that, or 7. He might be actually, let me just look at the rankings and see. Gaethje is number 7. So yeah, this whole fight makes sense. Gaethje's number 7 and Kevin Lee's number 5. If Kevin Lee can't get a fight with the top of the heap, then all of this makes sense to me. All of this makes sense. So I hope that they book this fight. It would be a barn burner. It really would be one of them old school barn burners, because Justin Gaethje don't give a damn. We all know that he will take a punch to give a punch. He will take a punch to give a punch. So you already know you're going to be in a slugfest with him. If you have a little bit of fight IQ, if you have a little bit of aggression, then you're going to be in a slugfest. Justin Gaethje doesn't do well against aggressive opponents. He was able to knock out just James Vick, but James Vick damn near came into the octagon knocked out, just looking like he was a little bit afraid of how big the event had gotten after he had talked it up so much. But, I'm down for this fight. That's all I can say. I don't know what card it's going to be on. If they put it on 232, I'm pretty sure Kevin Lee wants to fight well before 232. So maybe they can put it on UFC 230 and keep Kevin Lee as a backup just in case Nate Diaz pulls out, or just in case Dustin Poirier. Poirier doesn't really pull out of fights, but, just in case something goes down with that one. I like this matchup. I really like this matchup. Anyway, shout out to Kevin Lee. Shout out to Justin Gaethje. Shout out to the UFC matchmakers, man. It's time. Go ahead and make this bout. I think people want to see it. Anyways, guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.